Yeah, looking at episode 9 of of Dexter Resurrection, you might still be recovering from it. I guess I am too. Um, but at the same time, what's been a thread throughout Dexter Resurrection, especially, has been um, this unusual sort of take that Angel Batista has, I guess, grafted himself onto, this extremity of his position. Um, and it is all this stuff about, who is responsible for Dokes? Well, Lila actually blew the cabin up and killed him that way. She had, set her own place on fire a couple of times, and one time endangering Cody and Astor. And Dexter was able to get them out. And I think maybe Deb might have been outside and able to get him out, or free him after he smashed into the doors. But anyway, when you look back at Angel Batista, you're going to see that moment where Dokes gets out of the car and goes under a bridge chasing an old nemesis of his. And Angel hears 2 gunshots. And the story is, while Dokes, or the suspect, shot at Dokes, and Dokes fired back, and I don't know how that actually was resolved in season 2. I think it was season 2. And of course, later on down the road, even Joey Quinn did shoot Jason Gedrick's character in the strip club because he was trying to liberate his own girlfriend, the stripper, and that kind of thing. And again, it was one of those things where there was too much of a gap between one gunshot and another. But that seemed to go away anyway, and it's debatable whether it would be questionable, or I mean, it's debatable whether it would be acceptable for some of these things to have gone on all along. They've both blatantly shot somebody. Nobody's going to talk about necessarily Angel Batista going to a sex worker, trying to make things happen with her. And although he did sort of, they did refer to it, I guess, when his sister said something about sex workers, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's gross." At least they had some memory of that happening. And it's interesting that when Joey and Angel saw video footage of Dexter himself killing the brain surgeon Oliver Saxon with a pen, they both sort of said, "Well, it was clearly a self-defense and that kind of thing." And they were doubtful of it, but nothing came of it. And when Dexter died supposedly was reported as having died in a storm, certainly Angel was muttering sort of, "Oh, Dexter, oh my God." And obviously he spoke at his funeral, and that's where they're at, and 10 years later, um, one phone call, a couple of phone calls, maybe from Angela Bishop, Chief Bishop, when she was going after him as Bay Harbor Butcher, that inflamed him, um, and that gave him the sort of position that he has in Dexter Resurrection. But sure enough, I mean, he's even when he visited him in the hospital, there was at least some pleasantry exchanged. There was at least some something of the past in their discussions. And it's not just a matter of, oh, you're deaf, these guys, definitely the Bay Harbor Busher. Um, I don't necessarily know that that's the case. I think it should have been left at the idea that, okay, maybe you have a firm idea of um, the way the Bay Harbor Butcher chooses uh, his uh, his targets as being something unacceptable, going after fellow serial killers and that kind of thing. But um, instead, they had to sort of uh, add this grease to the whole thing. This whole thing of, oh, it's what he did indirectly to Dokes or Maria LaGuarta or Deb or again Rita. Even though obviously with Rita it's Trinity that did it. It's with Deb it was the brain surgeon Oliver Saxon. Um, Now, were if Dexter were to look at it for how he can be guilty, well, there was that one little thing where he was getting ready to kill Oliver Saxon, and then he realized for some reason doesn't have the urge to kill anymore. It seems to have, evaporated. So he decides, you know what, I'm going to let this guy be taken out by the state, and I'm going to just hand deliver him to Deb. The only thing is, I mean, he could have rolled up all the knives, put them away, so that they're not going to be easily grasped by him at some point. Who knows who's going to, he doesn't know for sure that the next person in that room is going to be Deb. That it was a marshal. And Yeah, so the things didn't work out. The marshal ended up getting stabbed just because he turned his back on somebody he didn't know. It was like the only marshal in Florida who didn't see the footage of Oliver Saxon killing somebody. And but anyway, there's that. There's it just doesn't make sense necessarily later on that Angel took this extreme position, either when he's talking to the police or when he's talking to anyone else. Although he certainly didn't tell anybody at Miami Metro. And it would, I guess, be interesting to see if anybody there gets the message about what happened to Angel. Because I don't know that Dexter really should be loading up a message to them, sort of saying, hey, yeah, by the way, I'm alive and I was just away for 10 years, blah, blah, blah. And Angel thought that he was the Bay Harbor Butcher and so on and so forth. Hopefully, maybe Claudette or somebody else will pass that along, that Angel was killed. But then at the same time, he's holding that same thing in his in the craw of, you know, his being, in a sense, that he's responsible for all these things because this happened due to him. Hey, you know what? What could have been said too, maybe not at that moment, of course, because it's not the place for it, but technically speaking, Maria LaGuardia died because she, I don't even know if this is realistic, but she strong armed the prison system or the parole system to let out um, Hector. Oh my God, again, I want to think one of the Chips guys, but um, and anyway, she let out the guy that chainsawed Dexter's biological mother. And what did she expect to have happen with that? She expected maybe Dexter to go after the guy and then she'd have him or whatever. But is that really something that you want a police captain to do? I mean, and is that of no blame whatsoever when she actually got killed? I mean, it's one thing for somebody to blame Dexter, but ultimately in that moment, and certainly he would have liked to have orchestrated the entire staging himself, and he sort of did follow through with that after Deb actually killed Maria. But it's anyway, it's not really ultimately his fault. Dexter wouldn't have to even talk about any of that. He wouldn't have to deal with any of that. And the first attempt that Maria made, figuring that this guy Estrada, Hector Estrada, that's what it was. he, she, taking him in, and in front of his babysitter and everything else, taking him at home and bringing him to the interview room at the police station was not necessarily a good idea. Now, it's great that Dexter was able to talk his way out of it, and Angel was there listening to him talk his way out of it. Once again, and nobody really believed Maria LaGuardia. And the funny thing is, she's apprehending this guy ostensibly for murdering Hector, and that he wasn't dead yet. So all of that was a big mess anyway. And nobody was able to. The funny thing is, it's I think this running theme of blaming Dexter for the deaths of other people, people that weren't necessarily even fitting the code. He can't really spoon feed that to everybody or let anybody know, but it is odd. And when Angel wouldn't have really had anything to do with this if it wasn't for the fact that Chief Angela Bishop phoned him and told him her problem. We don't really hear, I don't know if we do hear anything about, from Teddy, we hear certainly that she took the blame for shooting him. Dexter could always say that while he was in a coma, he couldn't, after coming out of the coma, he couldn't remember being shot and who shot him and whatever, any of that. But yeah, it's interesting that Angela Bishop just disappears, and Teddy is the new acting police chief, and you would almost think maybe it would have been beneficial for Dexter to show Angel the the photo that he was given in an envelope, and what was written on the back. And does he know anything about this? What does this mean that I'm? Because he did know that Angela had raced him to the hospital. So I don't know. I mean, was there anything about Kurt Caldwell? Was there anything about the room full that the police would have set upon that site anyway? Angela did call the police from all around to come and look at this. So, yeah, it's just that would maybe possibly even support the idea of um, the Bay Harbor Butcher thing. If he found a lot of dead bodies and that kind of thing, Kurt Caldwell can't be found. And yeah, I don't know. It's but at least it explains, in a sense, though, her turnaround and her decision not to stay in Iron Lake. I wonder what she's doing now and whether she'll come back to the show or something. But I'm looking forward to, I guess, episode 10 and what might happen there. But it's going to be interesting. Anyway, thank you.